intro. Hey, listen, if you got a YouTube channel or a stream or a podcast that you're doing and you want a dope intro, hit me up. All you need to do is leave me your name or your channel in the comment section, and I will contact you directly to get you set up with an intro. All right? And while you're here, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for me. Don't say so. Talk to you guys soon. Peace and blessings.
Welcome to the real world.
#New Media.
Ordinary unconsciousness is always linked in some way with denial of the now. The now, of course, also implies the here. Are you resisting your here and now? Some people would always rather be somewhere else. Their here is never good enough. Through self-observation, find out if that is the case in your life. Wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have three options. Remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. If you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of those three options, and you must choose now. Then accept the consequences. No excuses, no negativity, no psychic pollution. Keep your inner space clear. If you take any action, leaving or changing your situation, drop the negativity first, if at all possible. Action arising out of insight into what is required is more effective than action arising out of negativity. Any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If it is a mistake, at least you learn something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing. Is fear preventing you from taking action? Acknowledge the fear, watch it, take your attention into it, be fully present with it. Doing so cuts the link between the fear and your thinking. Don't let the fear rise up into your mind. Use the power of the now. Fear cannot prevail against it. If there's truly nothing that you can do to change your here and now, and you can't remove yourself from the situation, then accept your here and now totally by dropping all inner resistance. The false, unhappy self that loves feeling miserable, resentful, or sorry for itself can then no longer survive. This is called surrender. Surrender is not weakness. There's great strength in it. Only a surrendered person has spiritual power. Through surrender, you will be free internally of the situation. You may then find that the situation changes without any effort on your part. In any case, you're free.
Do you believe in fate, Neil?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
What's up, fam? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
How are you, Bartran?
I'm good. How you, JJ?
I'm good, baby. I'm good. So for those of you who don't know, that background music belonged to Bartran. It's a song that he's got called Overstand Me, and we will listen to that later. Hey, Pope, I wish I knew, man, but I'm going to drop the link for everybody in a little bit after we talk a little bit, and you can play it yourself, my brother. Shout out to everybody. What you say, Rev? New Media Gang or Don't Bang, right? Shout out to Queen Royalty, DZ, Pope. I see y'all. I'm glad you guys could make it here tonight. I heard you talking about, let's see, which stream was that? That was the one where you and Rev did Icarus. It was part 2. And
Okay.
you said something that really, really jarred me. And I thought, wow, he is definitely down with the law of attraction. About how, LeVar manifested things into existence.
Yes.
And, the Matrix, it really hammered that home for me when I first saw that movie years ago. It started making me think about being more in control of my life. And the older I got, the more I realized that you do that with your thoughts. I saw The Secret and all of that stuff. Have you ever seen that?
The book?
Have you ever watched the documentary?
No, I haven't watched the documentary. I know that there was a book out about it. I think they even had a book, but I never watched the documentary of The Secret. Never did. Never
It's
did.
pretty good. It's pretty good. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, what is this mumbo jumbo shit? But then it started to some of the lessons from it kind of started to sink in about how you think things into existence because you focus on them, and then you have them in your mind and in your heart so that your actions can lead you to that goal. And I realized I had been doing it my entire life. I used to do things like, how you do limbo and you go under the rope or the stick or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would have, I'd be on a playground or something like that. And like the metal bars that you can swing on and like almost like monkey bars. Well, there would be a couple of them that would be like waist high. And I would imagine myself flying over them if I jumped high enough. And I would back up, get a good running start, and I would sail right over it. But I pictured myself doing it first. Now I'm doing this at like 8 years old, 9 years old, not realizing that I was manifesting.
Yes.
And as I grew older, I realized, hey, there's something to this. These things are happening. I remember being in high school thinking that, I wanted certain things, friendships to happen or, certain things to take place. And I would focus on it in my mind. Next thing I knew, they were materializing. So I learned at an early age about the manifestation process. How'd you get introduced to it?
Well, I got introduced to it. There was a book that I read called The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Okay.
And in that book, it talks about how the way you think on things, you manifest based on what you think on. So he gave an example of a man who was married and he was very in love with his wife, and she passed. But he was continuing to be ill, and certain things was wrong with him, right? And so he went to his doctor, and they couldn't really help him, and so he went somewhere else, and he was asked. Um, he went over his life and his happiness with his wife, and now that she's gone, you know, and so the
Yeah.
man asked him. Um, he noticed that he still wears the ring,
Wow.
his marriage ring. He still wears it, and he was told, "You need to take that ring off."
Really?
Yeah, he said, "Take the ring off." And once the man took the ring, because you have to release her. As long as that ring is on your finger, you have not yet released her or released the thought of her. And you have to accept that she's gone now, regardless of where anyone thinks she is. So once he took the ring off and accepted that reality, then he began to heal himself. Then there's talk about placebo, how you can be in pain. The doctor
The
really doesn't
sugar,
have
the
no.
sugar pill.
Yeah,
Yep.
the sugar pill, where you'll take a pill thinking it's relieving your pain, when no, it's your belief that the pill is relieving your pain, which makes the pain go away. See, and so I got into it that way. It wasn't called the law of attraction. No, it was called the it was called. I guess now that more people are into it, the term now is used, manifesting, the law of attraction, things like that. But honestly, that type of thing we've been doing, particularly in our tribe, we've been doing this since the beginning of time. It's just that at this moment, that's what it's called, the law of attraction and those different things. So,
Right.
but no, it's once, and so it wasn't about me coming really into it. It was about me, like you said, recognizing really what I've always been doing
Mm-hmm.
and embracing it, and not thinking that something was wrong with it, or even quote unquote evil or anything like that. But accepting it as a natural thing, and
It's
uh,
innate.
it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing that we do daily. The one thing and then from there I got into reading Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, um, Nightingale, Proctor. Those people talk about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
In other writings. Then you'll
I love
find that.
Napoleon Hill
Oh yeah, Napoleon Hill.
and
Not
Dale Carnegie. Love them.
Think and Grow Rich, but also talking. I think the name of it is Talking with the Devil.
Yeah.
That's another one that he did. Oh, you know. So, and then once you are aware, then I recognize some things that my grandmother told me. As the elders. I don't know if you had those sayings, but I used to hear my aunts and grandmother say, when a woman is pregnant, be careful what you think about while you're pregnant, or else you'll
Mm.
mark your baby, you'll mark your
Mm.
child.
I
If you
heard
say,
that.
yeah, if you say it, she used to say, if you pregnant and call someone else's baby ugly, then your baby will come out ugly. I mean, I heard things like that. So things like that, I began to recognize that, oh man, this has been all around us. And sometimes we do these things without really knowing what it is, or really like we just do it so naturally that we don't really see it as something that's really special that we do.
Right. That's so funny that you brought that up because, I have a daughter and I remember having situations where, and I was aware of that thought process that you mentioned. I would have to catch myself from time to time when I would be angry because I didn't want to have an angry child. And she's filled with a lot of anger. Okay, because during that time I was going through some things with my husband, and I was angry a lot of the time. But for the most part, what got me out of that was the fact that I was pregnant, and I knew that I was bringing a life into the world. So, and I knew that we would be best friends, you know. So that kind of pulled me through a lot of those things. But yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, because to this day, unfortunately, we're not close, but she is filled with a lot of anger. I don't know if it's because her father and I didn't work out or what's going on with that. But in any event, I'm continuously trying to manifest us getting back in each other's lives. And I believe one day that'll happen. But yeah, the pregnancy thing, the thoughts, the feelings, I do believe they transfer over, because I think a lot of that happened with me and my daughter.
Yeah, it does. I hear the elders will tell me a lot. We heard this. This is a common saying in our tribe. Be careful what you ask for. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because that's real. That's why, and we understood the principle, which is why when we say certain things, we knock on wood. You know, if we
Mm-hmm.
speak on something and we say, "Oh no, knock on wood," because we don't want that to manifest. So
Mm-hmm.
the knocking on the wood was our ritual of pretty much saying, "No, I don't want this to manifest." I might be thinking out loud, but no, knock on wood, baby. I want that to happen. So when my grandmother and others used to do those things when I was young, I never thought much of it. But now that I'm older and I kind of understand really what that is, I understand
Mm-hmm.
why we knocked on wood. I understand why we did certain things. And those things they may not have thought of as much depending on how they were raised, and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I recognize those as rituals that we do. And we do certain rituals every day. Everything that we do and repeat it. If we do a certain thing all the time the same way, that's a ritual, whatever it is. And then those rituals that we do create habits which what manifest certain reality, you know, right over
Absolutely.
our heads.
Absolutely. And it's so funny too, because when I was doing the editing of those segments of the Matrix, I I'll put words on the screen to let people see what they actually do in their daily lives. You know, when he fired that first shot, the first thing that probably entered Neo's mind was past programming. Okay, he just shot me in the chest, which means I'm most likely going to die, and of course, fear and worry probably set in at that moment, which it would for anybody. And I'm thinking metaphorically here with these bullets, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, wow, each bullet represents a negative emotion that he's going through at that time, anger and guilt and depression and fear, worry. And as he was firing it, those things are coming through. We go through that every day in our lives, where we deal with these emotions and we don't realize that a lot of it stems from thought. That's why I had the power of now in the beginning of that. If you learn how to stay in the moment and live in the present moment and stop reflecting and projecting and live now, then you can learn how to, you know, overcome those fears and thoughts and things like that when they come on. And then from that place, from a place of peace, begin to manifest what you really want to happen. But you got to clear yourself first. Like you said, you have to
Absolutely.
free your mind, you know?
Yeah. You have to clear yourself, but you have to recognize it first. See, what helped me was to recognize uh, certain things that's going on in my personal life that I wasn't satisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to recognize that the reason why that is going on is because I allowed it to go on.
You allowed it. Absolutely.
I whatever's going on is the situation I made for myself. You know. Now, externally there's other people who may do other things, but still at the end of the day, I said yes when I could have said
Mhm.
no. I went one way when I could have went another. So I assumed certain things when I should have assumed other things. So I believe certain things that I didn't question, right?
Mhm.
All that stuff. So I had when I, in the conversation with a friend of mine, I said, I haven't been on nothing all this time. And so I had to recognize that I am completely responsible for whatever happens to me from this point on. I can't
You.
blame mommy no more. I
Mhm.
can't blame daddy. I can't blame if you are a spiritual person. I can't blame God or the devil. You know, I have to take total responsibility for what happened. And then now, being responsible, now I have to have different thoughts so that different things will manifest in my life. And when I started that journey, I've been good ever since. Now, I'm not saying everything has went the way I wanted to. No, because the way of the universe is the test. There's always the nature tests you. That's the universal order. So if you make a decision, then there's going to be a test. Will you stay on it or no? Or is there a lesson to be learned from it that will help you in the things that you're looking to manifest or do? And are you willing to accept that lesson and move on from it? If not, then you'll be in a circle until you learn the lesson. You'll remain in place until you get past that lesson that you need to get past to move on to the new lesson.
Absolutely. And no, King C, I don't mind that you hit the like button, my brother. Shout out to King C. No, absolutely. Speaking of that test, I feel like when I was 17, I lost an aunt to cancer, my great aunt, and she had colon cancer. And I was thinking, wow, that whole thing was a scary time. And I remember it always kind of being in the back of my mind. I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die like that. You know what I mean? And one of the things that they talk about in The Secret is the fact that it doesn't matter whether you're thinking you don't want something or you do want something. See, the way manifestation works is if it's on your mind, then you're manifesting it. I don't care whether you're thinking I don't want to be late. Well, you're focusing on being what? Late. So I focused on, I don't want to die from cancer. I don't want to, oh, this is terrible. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And and years later, I was feeling ill, started losing weight. People thought that I was doing some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Got real small. And I went to the doctor and I told them that I thought it was colon cancer. No, you're young. It's probably not that. Probably just have some, bowel obstruction or something like that. Well, they went on ahead and did a biopsy and took it out. They were like, you were right. You did have it.
Mm,
And it hit me like a ton of bricks. But in that moment, and this is what I mean by being in the present moment, in that moment, I handled it way better than I thought I would have
mm,
because I thought, okay, so where do we go from here? Am I dying? What's happening? You know what I mean? And he said, actually, no, we got it out. Everything's all good, but you will need to do some chemo, but we're going to give you the mild strain of it because, it's not the type that takes your hair out and all that kind of stuff. So I did that. And I was supposed to get 6 months of it, but I actually only got 3 months of it because um, I lost my employment before the treatments were up. And the wild part about that is I literally learned the power of manifestation through that experience
mm,
because I had some PTSD behind it. For years, I thought, I didn't want it to come back. And I realized after watching The Secret probably about 10 years ago now, that I was on my way to manifesting it once again, simply by thinking I didn't want it to come back. When I realized, hey, you got to put cancer out of your mind. I don't go near hospitals. If I don't have a broken leg or a broken arm, I'm not going near a hospital, because I don't want that on my mind. And so far, it's been going on, about 18 years now. Completely clear, because I realize the power of focusing on not only the word, but the whole experience of it. So you can reverse it. You can actually reverse it and keep yourself clear simply by directing your thoughts. Every day I deal with, staying clear, staying at peace, because everything comes from that. I remember being in Baltimore, and after I watched The Secret, one of the things that I had a picture of the ocean. And I used to imagine myself being on the sand and being in that place with a significant other, which I did not have at the time, but the significant other that I always imagined I would be with. And I didn't know what that person would look like. 10 years later, I live in Ocean City, Maryland with my person. And I started really, really, really purposefully manifesting. Right now I'm trying to hit the lottery, so I'm playing I don't play anything other than Mega Million and Powerball. You know what I mean? I'm like, I haven't got there yet, but it's strange, because I'll look at the tickets, all jokes aside, and I'll have 2 or 3 numbers one day, and next day it might be one, or the next day, but I'll always have at least one number in there, and it gets more and it gets less. And I'm like, I'm not doing it right. I'm somehow not quite where I need to be with that. And that's because I'm manifesting something that in my mind, I'm thinking is unrealistic. That's where I've got to get through that. I know, see, that's the thing. I know that though. So that's powerful. When you know that, you can take steps to actually get yourself in a place where you picture yourself having that type of wealth, and picture yourself living with that type of wealth. And I know eventually it will happen. Don't know when, but I know that it will happen. And that gut feeling, knowing that, and it's a gut feeling. It's not just a fleeting thought or a wish. It's a gut feeling that it's going to happen. So I know at some point it is going to happen.
Yes. I remember. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I do have your song, and I want to play it if you don't mind. I want to let everybody hear this awesome song that you made. What were you gonna say before I do that?
Let it play.
Okay, guys, he's made us.
Anytime somebody want to play my music, I say let it play.
I love it. It's called Overstand Me, and first of all, I love the play on words, because the word is understand, and the whole overstand me. I'm like, wow, okay, he went there with it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, that's definitely cool. But it basically reminds me of what we're speaking about, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it. And then, we can talk for a few minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the link if anybody wants to come in and join us and talk about their experiences. I don't want to be too long, because we in the new media gang and everybody else got streams they want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and play Bartran's song, Overstand Me.
Bartran. Bartranize the world. Hey. It's all good, still standing, misunderstood, no understanding. Niggas don't understand me. Dream so sweet when I do what they say I couldn't do. Mention names, I'm like, who? Don't forget shit and forget what they say. Words gaslit my mental blaze. Shitted on the pole and it's sapling. Now a tree shit fed me. I'm what's happening. Growing with time, getting mine, paying them no mind. Not niggas I left behind. Not trying to hear
it
They
has.
just sit wild niggas, I'm moving quick. They predict, say niggas, I didn't trip. Clout did, I'm the shit, they flipping it. Bartran in their mouth, they know they dipped. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can't see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can't see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me. Niggas basking in my light like a moon mask wearing like MF Doom. He was real, they ain't. Mental restraints means their lit is vicarious. Smiling Judas the scariest. Talking about days we once walking, but jealousy stalking. Weakness, enemies and inner energies, keeping envy energy alive. Because mediocrity, you satisfied, I'm not satisfied. Staying on the side, times goes by, it do fly. Niggas on the blocks, me chilling in Dubai. Talking crazy like Jay-Z. If you made me, where the other ones that we may see? I am that one, I am the one Bartran. I'm son by none, I am the son, I am the son. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me. It's all good, still standing. Misunderstood, the blinded can see. Enigma, no understanding. Don't expect the world to overstand me.
Love it. Love it, my brother.
Yes.
My head is still bobbing, okay? You
Well, I
see all them
appreciate it.
fire emojis down there in the comments, don't you?
I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, that
I
was dope.
appreciate it. It was,
That was dope.
yeah. It means I'm just.
What was your inspiration?
I'm just doing my own thing, and at this point in my life, I don't, because I am manifesting certain things and moving in a certain direction. I can't waste time waiting on people to understand what I'm doing.
I
And
heard that.
it gets to a point where now I don't expect it. It's like, if you get it, you get it. If not, I'm gonna do what I do anyway.
Right.
So it's all good because I'm still standing. Because again, a part of what we're talking about is that and to get at peace, you have to put things and people to the side in order for that to happen, or
Yeah.
else those things you'll constantly whisper. Those things will be the whisperings in the ear. You're not going to do it. You just starting
Absolutely.
off doing something. A sapling, right? Now I'm a tree. So when you put manure on the plant, it grows, right?
Right.
So that's what it means. When I say shit it on a sapling, now a tree. Now sapling is a metaphor for whatever you're starting off with, right? See? And now
Got you.
you've grown to a tree. Their words that they hurled at you, all it did was just feed you. And there's a thing called transmutation, where you take the energy, you take an energy and then you change it and use it for something else. So even with because every energy has a purpose. So then it grew to a tree. And I went on and did what I had to do. It wasn't because I was too good for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I wasn't doing nothing. You doing the same things that you're doing.
Which is the definition of insanity, right?
Which is the definition of insanity, and the definition of accepting mediocrity or accepting what you think, particularly in our tribe. There's certain things that we say that quote unquote black people don't do. And I'm like, what? So I recently was in the part where it says niggas on still on the blocks, but I'm chilling in Dubai. No, I
Right.
actually was in Dubai, and I have the footage that I'm going to post in my blog of me being in Dubai. And the reason why I did that, I just posted me at the bottom of Mount Sinai about to climb to the top of the mountain. You know, I
Wow.
put that in my blog. It's there on my page. Anybody go to it, they'll see it. And the reason why I did that was that I wanted not to flex. See, because I don't do, and I'm gonna post that too. I don't do things to impress. I'm not. I'm. I'm flexing and doing things to impress means that what I am, what I think I am, is based on other people's thoughts about what I do,
Facts.
and I don't give a damn about what other people's thoughts are on what I do. Now, if I do something and you mess with it, that's just a cherry on top. But regardless, I won't do it anyway. And I think that's a part of the peace of mind is having a peace of mind with being yourself
Yes.
and going outside of the boundaries of what your family say, of what society says, and experiencing everything that you can so that when you are laying in your bed, they say that they say the story is when you get ready to pass, before you pass on, your brain would do basically a review of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will see everything. They say it's your life flashing before your eyes for the last time. How you want that story to play out? You know, full of
Right.
regret, full of, well, I should have, but I didn't.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Could no, I don't. I'm not about. Whenever the time is for me to go, whenever that is, and I'm not counting on it tonight. I'm just saying, we all know that's inevitable. I want it to be a story of someone who started well, went through some things, overcame it all. It is sitting pretty good, and I can smile. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was the song was about just moving and not being not worried about jealousy, knowing that there may be, knowing that people who may be around you who may not share your vision, that's fine, you
Mm-hmm.
know but not worrying about it, and being willing to go, being okay with going it alone if necessary, but as long as you are at peace with it, then it really doesn't matter, because you don't have time to wait for others, because time is moving. Things have to be done. Now you're gonna put your thing on pause so someone else can catch up with you. No, it's like, no, this is what it is.
You got to
We can
keep
go
it
together,
moving
and we got to keep it moving. So
because
that's
you're gonna move forward in life no matter what.
you're gonna
So
move forward in life.
you
It's
might
just
as
a
well
matter of
do
who's
it
with you,
right.
with or without, with an army or by yourself. See, and I think J&J, there's a thought process that you need certain things to do certain things. Like, no, I had thought about I remember when I climbed to the top of the mountain, it's like I did that really on the fly, and I did it, and I told my family and friends, I said, you all need to come over here and do this. You know, you're not, or you need to travel to places to see these things. It ain't just people with, and if you can catch a deal, it's very affordable,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
it ain't like you got to have a lot of
Absolutely.
money. You don't have to have a lot of money to do these things. You can catch deals. You can go off season. You don't have to be. You don't have to be outside the tribe and have money to experience the world. You don't have to have that. And I think that's a thing that's one of the things that we have to, as a tribe, we have to rethink our expectations on certain things. It ain't okay. I know I'm born and raised in Chicago. Now this will be the last thing I'll say. And I remember having a conversation with someone about how on certain parts of Chicago, the West Side, there are people in Chicago who have never been downtown.
Mm.
There are people in Chicago who have never been to the beach because
Wow.
Chicago's large. But they stay in the same block, that same area, born, live, and die in that area. And I said, wow, that is so unfortunate. Because it's like you you never get to experience the full depth of what everything is if you're stuck in one place. And then
Chicago's a
when you're
beautiful city too.
beautiful, and even with all the other stuff going on in there, Chicago is a beautiful city, but the world is beautiful.
Yeah.
See, so there's more to the world than your block, buddy. You know, and if you don't go outside that the diameter of that thought process, then you fall victim to the suggested mentality that is associated with the block, with
Hmm.
certain other things. And those things what manifest into reality, based on what you think of yourself and the people around you. It manifests in the environment. Broken
Absolutely.
glass everywhere, you know, broken glass everywhere, and all these other things, which doesn't contribute to a peaceful thought process. There's chaos there because there's chaos here. So everything manifests. It all starts with the thinking, and there are people who pay millions to influence what is thought, because
Yes,
through
they
it
do.
they move people, as we see in real time right now. Now leave that alone, but we all know what's going on.
Oh,
That's it.
definitely. DZ, what you got to say on that, my brother?
Hey, shout out to you, JJBO, man. Great stream. And shout out to Brother Bartran. Brother Bartran.
Peace, brother.
Yeah, well, hey, peace, brother. That was a fire song, man. Now it's going to be on my mind for the rest of the week. So it's amazing.
It's right on here. Hey, y'all go subscribe to Brother Bartran's channel.
Yeah.
It is on his YouTube page. And I went on there and listened to it. He's got the instrumental to it. He's got the song with the lyrics. And I mean, it's fire. You know what I mean? It is absolute fire.
Sure.
Appreciate
Yeah.
streaming too.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure to check it out for sure. And both of your stories are so powerful. And I learned so much during this stream. I wish I learned from the from the eldest. And you know, Sister JJ, your story was so powerful. What you went through with the with the cancer and everything, for you to pull yourself up and still keep positive and just go on with your life. I truly admire that, because
Thank you.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And thank goodness the world has now lost such a great gift the great gift that you give, the person that you are. So we're so fortunate, and we're so happy to have you around today. And I'm so glad that you're doing better. um I wanted to say quickly, it brought me back to because my mother had ALS,
Uh-huh.
a few last year. And it was so hard for me to see her through that. And I can tell you, like, during that grieving process, those are the very dark moments of my life, because I
Mm-hmm.
just seen her sick, losing all the weight, seeing her not breathing, not eating properly, not drinking properly, just seeing her be this. She was still beautiful in my eyes, but just changing physically
Yeah.
was heavy for me. And I remember when she passed away, I did not cry the first night. I did not cry like for the first week, because I was holding all these emotions inside of me. I was holding all these emotions inside of me, and I only let it out. I don't remember, but like after like a few months, I don't know what happened, but something triggered, and I let it out, and it was heavy. That was when I truly felt it. I truly felt the pain that
Wow.
was bottling inside of me, because for a long time
You were
that
in denial.
was in denial. I'm like, my mom is not. She's still here. I was having dreams, hallucinations of her and everything. Because I ended up missing the funeral, because I was living in the States at the time, and she was living in Ivory Coast and everything. So I missed her call the day that she passed away. And I kept all that guilt inside of me. I still do from time to time. I feel I've been better
Wow, hold up. Not to cut you off. So you were dealing with the guilt of that on top of the mourning of her death itself.
itself. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that was a heavy period, brother.
It
That's a
was.
lot to go through emotionally.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And it was, and I had to count over time, count, let it go, and everything. But it wasn't easy for sure. But I'm still here today, and I'm so glad to have these conversations, and and seeing that other people. I'm not the only one that does go through those hard times too. There are other, like-minded, beautiful brothers and sisters such as you, brother Bartran, and I'm pretty sure that the family on the chat. I'm pretty sure everybody has a story. So truly appreciate for giving me the opportunity to come through on this panel and actually talk about it, and makes me feel much better to share what I went through, and listen to you guys.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys coming on here and also opening your streams to when, all of us want to come on and talk. Pope and Juju and those guys, DJ, shout out to DJ's Raw Uncut True. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to New Media Gang, the whole fam, everybody that comes in the chat, King C, Queen Royalty, all those guys. We're all becoming a one big family, and that's the vision that I think Rev initially had for it. Was for it to be a community, not necessarily one channel or one person, but a whole community of channels, a whole, you know, um, a whole group of us that are like-minded, that deal with different things in one way or another. You got the, relationship streams. I like dealing with not only the Ball family, but things of the mind and spirituality, and Bartran, you seem like you have a lot of that as well, in your stuff. And Rev has sports, and he also does basically realistic in your face streams. You know what I mean? You got Juju with the sports, you got Pope with the sports. You know what I mean? Everybody has something different to bring to the new media table. And that is what is going to make us all as one powerful source for people to come to and get that knowledge that they need, get that truth that they need, you know? And you were speaking about, clearing yourself of what happened with your mom. One of the things that and I'm not going to stay on too long because I know Rev's got a stream that he wants to get to, and I want to go hear that. But, one of the things I wanted to speak on was, if you guys learn to get to a higher frequency. We are all basically transistor radios in the universe. Okay. We have vibrations because we're not solid. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't stick a knife in my arm and it's going to hit like that. It's going to go through me, which means we're not solid. And the ether is all around us, and you pick up vibrations, not only from the living, but from the people who have moved into that realm as well. So when you say you can still feel your mom, she is there. Just because you can't see her and touch her, the human mind can't wrap around that. But just because you can't see her and touch her doesn't mean her essence isn't around you, protecting you, watching you, being with you. She is still with you in the realest sense of the word, And if anybody ever questions that, it's like, okay, you have a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
You have a cell phone, right, Bartran?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if we can call somebody, if we can pull up something on the screen that is not right there, or talk to somebody in China, like all of us, none of us are in the same place. The ether is extremely powerful. That phone is not connected to any wire. So if you think about the frequencies and what goes through your body is a conduit. Okay. So you have to learn to let negative energy pass right on through you and let the good energy in. And you do that through breathing. I've learned here lately that breathing is breathing is huge. Taking deep breaths and sucking in that clean air and cleaning out all of the bad air that's in there, all the bad vibrations, and then letting it out slowly and letting your body relax in the process, you can clear your mind to receive blessings, and none of us, not none of us, but a lot of people don't take just 15 minutes, sit in the quiet for 15 minutes every day and just do that. Breathe, clear your mind. And I'm telling you, not only will it add years to your life, but it'll add a lot of peace to your soul.
Certainly. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
like with myself, I was going through a tough time. I got a security contract in Kuwait. So I went there for a year. And it was the perfect way for me to center myself away from everybody, away from everything. And that helped me kind of center myself
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you have to use time to yourself. There are times when I do certain things where I'll have everything cut off, no technology, none of that is on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just will, I have my way. See, this is the thing about things that rituals and things like that. I remember I'm about to say a name, hopefully that don't scare no one. Um Bobby Hemmett said something in one of his lectures and talking about how to manifest different things. He's more into the magic side and all these other things, but these are different words to
Mm-hmm.
describe a single phenomenon, a single thing. We have different ways of describing those things. So he said, because we're all unique, JJ,
Mm-hmm.
down to our fingerprints, then there are ways that we can find within ourselves to do the things that will center us individually,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's breathing exercises, whether it's just sitting
Climbing
quietly,
Mount Sinai.
climbing Mount Sinai. um, when I get into my studio, that is a spiritual experience for me. It's I approach it because the
You talking to
creative.
a musician, you preaching to the choir now.
What? Oh well, then when I
Yeah.
get into the studio and you JJ, that you can get so into what you're creating musically that you cease. It almost is. It's almost like you cease to be yourself as a
Oh
person,
yeah.
and you and the music unite, and
You
it's like
become one with that.
you are the actual energy itself
Yep.
that's creating. And then there's certain things you'll do, certain things you'll do that later on, once it's over with, you'll ask yourself, how in the hell did I just do that? You
Right.
see, because, and this was in my Timberland, I did a podcast called the Timberland Sampling Controversy. And in that podcast, I talk about that, how a true creative really cannot explain how they manifested what they manifest because it goes into a spiritual realm that's outside of where we are. We go into another place
Right.
to create what we create, you know, and we have many different things to say about it, but it is a spiritual experience. So certain times, whatever it is that I'm feeling, I can always put that to poetry because other people have the same feeling, but maybe they can't express it the way I will be able to express it. And as a creative, if I can express something that speaks to you, or DZ, or anyone who hears what I say, then that is that for a creative that's successful. So creatives really, when you are a musician, even with sports, athletes describe it as the zone where they can get to a certain place spiritually while they're playing their sport that everything happens the way it's supposed to. Whenever I shoot the ball, I know it's going to go in. I already see the past, but I already see what's going to happen before I pass the ball. Those things are described in ways that seems like, I just knew what was going to happen when I passed the ball. No, that is something deeply spiritual that you just witnessed. See, that's
Absolutely.
the power of it on the stage. I remember watching. Well, I used to watch Michael Jackson concerts, man, and the people would all line up and become one with Michael in that space, and the energy would be so intense. Our ancestors. This is when people joke on our ancestors doing rain dances and other rituals to make certain things happen. No, that is real. The more of us are, that's why when you get the majority of the people thinking a certain way, then that's a vibration, a
Right.
frequency.
That's a
You know,
collective. Yeah.
it's a collective, and this is true because JJ, even without a cell phone, it's someone that you're close to, damn well that your phone can be in another room ringing. You already know who the hell it is calling you.
Oh
You
yeah.
see what? So again, these are the things, when we talk about law of attraction manifestation, it's a whole body of things, that spiritually that we kind of do on the whim. We just think about someone, or sometimes JJ, or even the DZ, you picked up the phone to call someone, and the first thing they say is, I was just thinking about you.
Or they'll call
know,
you before you call them.
or they'll call you. It's like,
That's right.
but those things are not. Those things are spiritual
It's
things.
not a coincidence.
No, not at all.
That's
Not at
right.
all. And they're spiritual, and it's spiritual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
spiritual in nature.
we definitely need to continue this as a series. We definitely need to continue speaking on this because people need to know this, and they
Absolutely.
need to come to an understanding of it so that they can begin to use it in their lives for the positive. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That's one of the books. I was watching Oprah Winfrey's Soul Sunday one of these times, and she had introduced Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and that
Yeah.
book is so powerful. I love that book. I've listened to it, and it's so funny. I like the line in your song, "The blind they can see," because since my vision has become impaired, I see more than I did when I had full sight.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this guy is really speaking the truth about how powerful it is to be able to let go of every thought, every want, every desire, and just be a complete peace with just who you are, just being. If you had
Right.
nothing, if you had no home, if you had no significant other, if you had nothing, no money, nothing, not even the clothes on your back, and you were just existing, you can be at peace there. And you don't need anything else. Everything else is a bonus. Everything you need is inside of you. And when you're able to turn on the off switch to your thoughts and go in that place, you can manifest beautiful things, man.
Absolutely.
For sure.
In due time. Everything in due time.
Yep.
DZ, you was gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just listening. I totally agree with
Oh,
what
okay.
you say. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Kuwait.
yeah.
The thing, and I'll say this, JJ, and I know how long you're gonna keep the stream on, but
I'm going to go ahead and probably
Kuwait,
wrap it up after you say this.
okay, so Kuwait.
Oh, wait a
So I
minute.
went
Hold
to
up.
Kuwait.
What we got? Let me bring this other person in real quick and go ahead. Go ahead.
DaPope!
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up, Hope?
What's going on, family? New media family, loving everything I'm hearing. Go ahead, Bartran. I don't want you to lose your train of thought. You cooking?
Yo, okay, so
Wait a
Kuwait,
minute.
right?
Hold on. One before you do it. What time is Rev supposed to go on?
In just a little bit. He getting ready now.
Okay. So
I'm
we're
gonna
going to
keep
go ahead
it
and wrap it up after this.
So,
Okay.
so Kuwait. So when I was in Kuwait, because I was not really focused on my creative, I was focused on other things. But I made pretty good money on that contract. So afterwards, when I came back, things happened. I came back home. I said, wow, I said, if I get another chance to go back to Kuwait, I'm going to build my studio and do these things. Boom, 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 blah, 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 blah. So 10 years later,
We're going to play your song too, Pope.
I got a contract.
Okay.
And this time it was to Iraq. and I was nickel and diming the studio and up until then. And so once I got to Iraq, I already knew why I was over there. It was to complete the studio, and I completed it. But it took 10 years for it to manifest, but I never doubted it. I just kept moving towards it, regardless of how long it takes, it will happen, and that's with everything. And also being aware that others understand that science and use it every day
Yes.
for themselves. And we have to understand it and recognize when we see it.
People will people when people learn how to use that purposefully and on purpose, then they will have a life that they never even imagined that they could have. Like, I said that about winning the millions. It's not for the money. It's not for the money because I don't need that money. I am 100% completely happy with who I am and where I am in my life right now without anything else other than just being here, and that is just something that I'm doing, just like you climb Mount Sinai. I want to see if I can manifest $1 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a spiritual journey that the money is insignificant. It's the manifestation process of something that is seemingly completely unrealistic. And when I can do that, oh man, the sky is the limit of just being. You know what I mean? Just being and just being happy that you have that gift because the universe has blessed us with that gift to be able to do that, you know? Pope, so you have a song called Free Your Mind?
I do. And when I seen the title, I said, imagine that. I can't wait so let's bear with me for a little bit. I mean, not a little bit, but I'm ready right now to play it. But I wish I had a louder speaker, but just bear with me. You should be able to hear it pretty good though. Here we go. It's called Free Your Mind by DaPope.
All right.
Free your mind. You're a mission. You close your eyes. And free your mind. Cause you're a mission.
I like that bass line.
Free your mind. Cause you're a mission. And close your eyes. Opportunities growing, we got the internet. Into the center with business become a bigger threat. Preposterous, how they prosper from this counterfeit. Broken promises, problems popping from politics. Got me pondering, fishing off at the pond again. See the calm before the storm, can we bond this, man? Some just gods in their own right. Some just pawns on the front line. Checkmate, spectate from the sidelines. Check the bank, speculate about my guidelines. Come push weight, get paid for the drive time. Out of state, no dick, bitches ride mine. Bad bitch, the freaky, she's a freaky girl. I'm a freaky boy. This a creepy world. Can't get sleepy, boy. Grind in due time, get what you're dreaming for. It's free your mind.
Wow.
A visionist, a philosopher, that description fits. Homies know me for clipping, pipping, and flipping bricks. But flip the script, let's get in that business tip. Marathon continues, rip to my nigga Nick. Lauren London, Black Sam, the whole thing. That man damn near changed who I am. Nothing's better than getting better with time. Hey, nothing lasts forever, so what's better than time? With your friends, with your folks, with your loved ones, with your sis, with your bros or your cousins, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas. Instead of running from that damn law, homie leaking no tampon. He was beefing, trying to stand on street codes that was playing wrong. Beast mode, lynch, Marshawn. We ain't getting lynched no more, so keep that million marks going. It's for your mind. Cause you're a mess.
Oh, this last verse gonna get real spicy and dicey.
Conspiracy theorists on. I paint the picture clever, so when you hear it, you see it in the spirit's form. Cold-hearted, but my spirit's warm. We've been misinformed. Lied to and deprived too. 4-5 by my side for survival. It's been like that before high school. Teenage stage that raised through the hatred. White girl named Paige, dad was racist. He came home one day, caught a lust hanging. Couple whites, couple of blacks, one Asian. When he grabbed his gauge and came back aiming. It only us, yup, black faces. Later on page when on having black babies, he denied his own flesh and blood. Now that's crazy. She's allowed home, but never the kids, so stay woke. Even when closing your lids, I say.
Hey, free your mind. Cause you'll miss it. Close your eyes. Yeah, that's that Free Your Mind by DaPope.
Oh man, you are a flowologist, my brother.
Oh, thank you.
I'm telling you, you know, it reminds me of Tupac. I told you that on Flight Stream. I was like, your voice reminds me of Tupac. Your flow, your style, the way that you deliver a lyric, or it reminds me a lot of Tupac's style. And I know you are Pope. You're not Tupac, but it does.
That's an honor. That's an honor to hear.
Hey, it reminds me of Tupac. It reminds me of Pac, man. It does.
Yes, indeed. That's an honor to hear that.
Well, I am so blessed to have had all you brothers on the show tonight. Bartran, thank you so much for sharing. DZ, thank you for sharing. Pope, thank you for sharing. Everybody in the comments, Queen Royalty, King C, Vegan Knowledge, I love you, sweetheart. You know what I mean? It's some names that, let me see. Hold up one second. King Fuselit was in here. Let's see. What is that? I am so blind. Self-made king.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all of you guys being here. You know what I mean? Let's just move forward and remember the lessons that we learned tonight, because there's many lessons for us to learn, And I like what's happening with new media right now, man. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I love it. Thanks.
I'm so excited. So everybody head over to Rev Stream that is staying on YouTube. I'm sure that brother's got something that's going to be fire as usual. So I'm going to head over there, and everybody don't forget to subscribe to DZ's channel. DZ, you going on tonight?
Yeah, I'm going on tonight. 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:30 a.m. Central Time, and 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be with my man Pope right here, and we're about to just spit some fire on that new topic that we'll have tonight.
That's that late night lounge with DZ and the fellas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
That was so much fun last night. I went on there, I listened to the other stream, and I'm like, I got to go on here, and that was, oh my God, Robin V, man.
Oh, right.
We had a lot of fun.
It was
fun.
Fun.
That was fun. So I can't
tonight too, definitely.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I might have to dip out a little early on that one though, because I was still dragging the day. I'm like, good God Almighty, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm on that 1:30 end, so I'm like,
late.
Late.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right.
So
appreciate you stopping by though, showing much love, definitely.
Oh, hell yeah. Always. We got to support each other. That's what this thing is all about.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, fam. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Everybody be safe. Love one another. Take care of one another. And peace and blessings to everybody. I'll see y'all over on Rev Stream.
Peace.
Peace.